In the year 2147, humanity had reached the stars and made contact with various alien species. The Intergalactic Council, a coalition of different species, proposed a secret exchange program to foster understanding and cooperation. Lieutenant Alex Harper was chosen to represent Earth in this program. He was sent to live among the Tersians, a species known for their strict societal rules and advanced technology. As Alex stepped off the spaceship, he was greeted by his Tersian host, Commander Isabella. She was tall, with sleek silver hair and piercing green eyes that seemed to see right through him. "Welcome, Lieutenant Harper," Isabella said, her voice calm and authoritative. "We hope your stay here will be enlightening." "Thank you, Commander Isabella," Alex replied, trying to mask his unease. "I look forward to learning about your culture." The Tersian city was a marvel of sleek architecture and advanced technology. Buildings rose high into the sky, their surfaces shimmering with a metallic sheen. Hovercrafts zoomed through the air, and everywhere Alex looked, he saw signs of a highly advanced society. As they walked through the city, Alex couldn't help but notice how orderly everything was. The Tersians moved with precision, their actions almost mechanical. It was clear that their society valued discipline and order above all else. "Your city is impressive," Alex said, trying to make conversation. "Thank you," Isabella replied. "We Tersians take great pride in our society. Our rules and regulations have allowed us to achieve prosperity and stability." Alex nodded, though he couldn't help but feel a sense of unease. He had always valued freedom and individuality, and the Tersian way of life seemed suffocating in comparison. Over the next few days, Alex struggled to adapt to the Tersian way of life. Their strict rules governed every aspect of daily existence, from how they dressed to how they interacted with one another. Alex found himself clashing with Isabella on several occasions. "Why are your rules so rigid?" Alex asked during one heated discussion. "Our society values order and discipline," Isabella explained. "It has allowed us to prosper for centuries." "But doesn't it limit your personal freedom?" Alex countered. "Freedom without order leads to chaos," Isabella replied firmly. Despite their differences, Alex and Isabella began to develop a mutual respect for each other. Alex admired Isabella's dedication and intelligence, while Isabella appreciated Alex's courage and curiosity. One evening, while exploring the city, Alex stumbled upon a hidden chamber filled with ancient Tersian artifacts. Among them was a mysterious device that seemed out of place. "Isabella, what is this?" Alex asked, pointing to the device. Isabella's expression turned serious. "That is a relic from a time before our strict rules. It holds secrets that could change everything." Alex felt a surge of excitement. "We need to investigate this further. It might hold the key to understanding your past and possibly your future." Isabella hesitated. "If we uncover something that challenges our current way of life, it could cause chaos. But it could also bring about positive change," Alex argued. "Your people deserve to know the truth." Isabella looked at him for a long moment before nodding. "All right, let's see what we can find." As they began their investigation, Alex couldn't shake the feeling that they were on the brink of something monumental. He had come to Tersia as part of an exchange program, but it was becoming clear that his mission was far more significant than he had ever imagined. Days turned into weeks, and Lieutenant Alex Harper continued to struggle with the rigid Tersian society. Every aspect of life was governed by strict rules, and any deviation was met with swift reprimand. Alex often found himself at odds with Commander Isabella, who upheld these rules with unwavering dedication. "Why do you insist on following every rule to the letter?" Alex asked one evening as they walked through the city. "Doesn't it ever feel suffocating?" Isabella glanced at him, her expression unreadable. "Order and discipline are the foundations of our society. Without them, we would descend into chaos." "But doesn't that stifle creativity and individuality?" Alex countered. "People need the freedom to express themselves." "Freedom without order is anarchy," Isabella replied firmly. "Our way of life has ensured our prosperity for centuries." Alex sighed, knowing this argument was a dead end. Despite their differences, he had grown to respect Isabella. She was intelligent, dedicated, and fiercely protective of her people. Yet, he couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to Tertian society than met the eye. One evening, while exploring the city on his own, Alex stumbled upon a hidden chamber filled with ancient Tersian artifacts. The room was dusty and forgotten, a stark contrast to the immaculate city above. Among the artifacts, a mysterious device caught his eye. It seemed out of place, more advanced than the other relics. Intrigued, Alex took the device back to Isabella. "Look what I found," he said, holding it out to her. Isabella's eyes widened in surprise. "This is a relic from a time before our strict rules. It's a communication device, capable of connecting to distant galaxies." "Why was it hidden away?" Alex asked, examining the device more closely. "Because it holds secrets that could challenge our current way of life," Isabella explained. "Our leaders believed that by hiding these relics, they could maintain control over the population." Alex felt a surge of excitement. "We need to investigate this further. It might hold the key to understanding your past and possibly your future." Isabella hesitated. "If we uncover something that challenges our current way of life, it could cause chaos. But it could also bring about positive change." Alex argued, "Your people deserve to know the truth." Isabella looked at him for a long moment before nodding. "All right, let's see what we can find." They spent the next few days studying the device. It revealed a wealth of information about Tertian history, showing that the Tersians had once been a free and diverse society, much like humanity. "This changes everything," Alex said, his eyes wide with realization. "Your people deserve to know the truth." Isabella's expression was conflicted. "If we reveal this, it could cause chaos. Our society has been built on these rules for centuries. But it could also bring about positive change," Alex insisted. "Your people could have the freedom to choose their own paths." After much deliberation, Isabella agreed. They decided to secretly broadcast the information to the Tersian people. Using the device, they transmitted the message across the planet. The broadcast had an immediate impact. Tersians began to question their rigid society and demand change. Protests erupted across the planet, and the Tersian government responded with force. Isabella and Alex found themselves at the center of a growing rebellion. "We need to lead them," Alex said. "We can't let the government suppress this movement." Isabella nodded, determination in her eyes. "Agreed, but we must be strategic." As they organized the rebels, Alex knew they were on the brink of something monumental. They had uncovered a truth that could change the course of Tersian society forever, and the fight for freedom was just beginning. The rebellion was growing stronger by the day. The broadcast revealing the ancient history of the Tersians had ignited a fire within the people. They had learned that their ancestors had lived freely, without the oppressive rules that now governed their lives. This newfound knowledge fueled their desire for change. Lieutenant Alex Harper and Commander Isabella worked tirelessly to lead and organize the rebels. They set up a hidden base in the outskirts of the city, where they planned their next moves. The atmosphere was charged with a mix of fear and hope. "We need to gather more intel on the government's plans," Alex said during a strategy meeting. "We can't afford to be caught off guard." Isabella nodded. "I've sent scouts to monitor their movements. We'll know if they plan to attack." Just then, one of their scouts, a young Tersian named Rena, rushed into the room. "Commander, Lieutenant, we have news. The government is planning a major offensive against us. They're mobilizing their forces as we speak." Alex and Isabella exchanged a grim look. "We need to act fast," Alex said. "We can't let them crush this rebellion before it even has a chance to succeed." "We need to strike at their command center," Isabella suggested. "If we can take it out, it will cripple their ability to coordinate their forces." "It's a risky move, but it might be our best shot," Alex agreed. "We'll need to be strategic and precise." They spent the next few hours planning the attack. Every detail was scrutinized, and every possible outcome was considered. Alex and Isabella knew that failure was not an option. As night fell, the rebels prepared for the mission. They moved silently through the city, avoiding patrols and staying in the shadows. The tension was palpable, but so was the determination. They reached the government complex, a towering structure fortified with guards and security systems. "Remember, stick to the plan," Alex whispered to the team. "We need to disable their defenses and get inside quickly." Isabella led a group to take out the external guards while Alex and a few others worked on disabling the security systems. The operation was going smoothly until an alarm blared, signaling that they had been detected. "We've been compromised," Alex shouted. "Move quickly." The rebels fought fiercely, but the government forces were well prepared. Laser fire lit up the night as the battle raged on. Despite the chaos, Alex and Isabella managed to breach the command center. Inside, they faced fierce resistance, but their determination and training carried them through. Head for the main control room, Isabella instructed. We need to shut down their communications. They fought their way through the complex, finally reaching the control room. Alex quickly accessed the mainframe, using the skills he had learned in his training. We're almost there, he said, his fingers flying over the controls. Just a few more seconds. Outside, the rebels were holding their ground, but they were outnumbered and outgunned. The government forces were closing in, and it was only a matter of time before they were overwhelmed. Alex, we need to hurry, Isabella urged, her voice filled with urgency. Got it? Alex exclaimed as the system shut down. The command center's communications went dark, throwing the government forces into disarray. Fall back to the rendezvous point, Isabella ordered. The rebels began their retreat, fighting their way back through the city. The government forces, now leaderless and uncoordinated, struggled to mount an effective response. As the rebels regrouped at their base, there was a sense of cautious optimism. They had struck a significant blow against the government, but the fight was far from over. We did it, Rena said, her face glowing with hope. We showed them that we won't back down. This is just the beginning, Alex said. We have a long way to go, but tonight, we proved that we can stand up to them. Isabella nodded, her eyes shining with determination. We'll continue to fight, and we will win. For the future of our people. The rebellion had taken its first major step towards victory, and the Tersians, with the help of their human ally, were ready to fight for their freedom. The government's command center had fallen silent, its communications severed by the rebels' daring raid. This victory was a turning point, but Lieutenant Alex Harper and Commander Isabella knew it was just the beginning. The Tersian government, despite being crippled, still possessed significant power and resources. They would not surrender easily. In the following days, the rebellion grew bolder. The broadcasts revealing the Tersians' lost history continued to inspire more citizens to join the cause. The hidden base, once a small outpost, had transformed into a bustling hub of activity and planning. We need to keep the momentum going, Alex said during a strategy meeting. We'd shown them that we can strike, but now we need to build on that success. We should target their supply lines next, Isabella suggested. Without supplies, their ability to maintain control will weaken. Agreed, Alex replied. We'll need to coordinate multiple attacks to stretch their defenses thin. As the rebels prepared for their next missions, Alex and Isabella took a moment to reflect on their journey. Despite their initial differences, they had become an effective team, united by a common goal. You've come a long way, Lieutenant, Isabella said, her tone softer than usual. I didn't think a human could adapt to our ways so quickly. Your people are worth fighting for, Alex replied, and so are mine. We've got a lot more in common than I realized. Their bond had grown stronger, forged in the heat of battle and the shared desire for freedom. It was this unity that fueled their determination and gave them hope. The rebels launched a series of coordinated attacks on the government's supply lines. They targeted convoys, storage facilities, and transportation hubs, causing significant disruption. Each successful raid bolstered their morale and weakened the government's grip on the population. Every hit counts, Rena said, her eyes gleaming with excitement after a successful raid. We're making a real difference. But we can't get complacent, Alex warned. They'll adapt and hit back harder. The government responded with increased patrols and harsher crackdowns on suspected rebels. The tension in the city grew, with skirmishes breaking out more frequently. Despite the risks, the capture of the military base was a significant victory for the rebellion. With the government's power significantly weakened, the rebels seized the opportunity to rally more support. Tersians, inspired by the success of the rebels, began to openly defy the oppressive regime. The momentum was shifting, but Lieutenant Alex Harper and Commander Isabella knew they had to act swiftly to secure a lasting change. The government is on the brink of collapse, Alex said during a strategy meeting, but they still have control over key infrastructure. We need to take the capital and force their surrender. Isabella nodded. Our intel suggests that the central command is heavily fortified. We'll need a multi-pronged attack to break through. We've come this far, Rena added. We can't stop now. The people are counting on us. The rebels prepared for their final assault. They coordinated with resistance cells within the capital, ensuring that the attack would be synchronized. The plan was to strike at dawn, when the city was least prepared for an assault. As the sun began to rise, the rebels moved into position. Alex and Isabella led the main force, while other groups targeted key installations around the city. The air was thick with anticipation and determination. "Remember, we fight for freedom," Alex said, rallying the troops. "Stay focused, and we will prevail." The signal was given, and the rebels launched their attack. Explosions rocked the city as the rebels breached the outer defenses. The government forces, caught off guard, scrambled to mount a defense. "We need to take the Central Command building," Isabella shouted over the commotion. "That's where their leadership is." The rebels fought their way through the city, encountering fierce resistance. Despite the chaos, they pressed on, driven by the hope of a new future. Alex and Isabella led the charge, their determination unwavering. Inside the Central Command building, the government leaders were in disarray. The swift and coordinated assault had caught them by surprise. Alex and Isabella stormed the building, fighting their way to the main control room. "Secure the area," Alex ordered as they reached the control room. "We need to take them alive." The remaining government officials, realizing their defeats, surrendered. The rebels secured the building, and the city erupted in celebration. The oppressive regime that had ruled for centuries had fallen. As the dust settled, Alex and Isabella stood on the steps of the Central Command building, addressing the jubilant crowd. "Today marks the dawn of a new era," Isabella declared. "We have fought for our freedom, and we have won. The tyranny that has oppressed us for so long is over." Alex stepped forward, his voice filled with pride. "This victory belongs to all of us. Together, we have shown that no force can stand against the will of a united people. Today, we begin to build a future where everyone is free to live as they choose." The crowd erupted in cheers, the sound echoing through the city. The rebellion had achieved its goal, and the Tersians were free. Alex and Isabella knew that the road ahead would be challenging, but they were ready to face it together. In the days that followed, the rebels worked tirelessly to establish a new government. They ensured that the mistakes of the past would not be repeated, creating a system that valued freedom, equality, and justice. "We've come a long way," Rena said, looking at the bustling city, "but there's still so much to do." "One step at a time," Isabella replied. "We've proven that we can overcome any obstacle. Now we build a future worthy of our sacrifices." Alex nodded, feeling a deep sense of accomplishment. "We've shown the galaxy what humans and Tersians can achieve together. This is just the beginning." As the sun set on the first day of a new era, Alex and Isabella stood side by side, ready to lead their people into a brighter future. The rebellion had triumphed, and the legacy of their struggle would inspire generations to come.